So, as much as I know that I want to talk about this because I have to re-record this again because of the fact that my microphone situation. But here's the thing: um, if anything, I could talk about everything about what's on the night, but I'm going to talk about one topic and one topic alone because I am so happy about this happening. While I was really hoping with tonight's match at Winter is a Coming on AEW, Mina was in the bag to win against Mariah May with that title. And despite all that happened that was supposed to, I would have thought would have happened, she remains your AEW Women's Champion. But what happened after this was unexpected because, oh my God. And right when Excalibur said that, this happened. Like, is this? Oh my freaking lord! Thank you, thank you. We get this Tony Storm back. No more Timeless. Unpopular opinion. Not a fan of Timeless Tony Storm. I understand its purpose. I understand its gimmick. I understand it's entertaining for people, but it was my cup of tea. Was not. That wasn't the Tony that I was much interested in. Allow me to bring up the situation. I have been a fan of Tony since the stardom. Tony was my intro to stardom. Honestly, the truth. I know I'm a late bloomer of it. I've gone back then and watched Joshi Wrestling over the years, but she was my other outlet to know of stardom. Her and Hikaru Shida to some extent. Um, so this woman, I understood the hype when she went to NXT UK and was a champion. I understood when it came to her getting the call to the main roster and people were upset with how they were using her for humorous moments that was not necessary. I understood when it came to her even coming to AEW with the exception of her being part of the outcast. I understand that. But here's the thing. I said this Tony Storm was more ruthless. So the fact that this is happening when it comes to this Tony, I am so happy for it because y'all have to understand this is the Tony Storm that is a multi-decorated champion at Stardom. This is the Tony that held title after title after title because y'all don't understand how much of a badass this woman is. This version of Tony Storm. This version of Tony is a fucking beast of it. I am not a fan of Timeless. I'm not. I have to say that. But at the same time, it's understand why it is. So, from what I know, this Tony was in a Tony was in a got casted in a movie about a vintage wrestling, a vintage female wrestling. I think early in the early 1930s, 1940s, I believe, and she was casted with Emily Rickards. For those who don't know who she is, she's known for playing Felicity on Arrow in the CW's Arrowverse. Emily was the lead in the movie. I forgot the name of the movie. It's past my mind. But Tony was also casted in the movie, playing one of her colleagues. So in that movie, her style is similar to Timeless Tony Storm, so it fits. So my guess in my little estimate was is in between her with this Timeless performance in her gimmick matched up with her doing the movie production. And the last time when she was doing Stardom, when she returned to Stardom, briefly as Timeless Tony Storm, after that match situation, the movie was finished wrapped filming, and that's why she doesn't need the gimmick anymore. So that's my guess and why this version of Tony Storm was really relevant within her run in the title and her rivalry against Mariah May was because around that time she was doing that movie. But now that the movie's done, I'm guessing she doesn't need to use it anymore, and she can go back to being the old Tony Storm that I said I'm no better than Juice Robinson. Because again, this is her last perform. This was her last performance, her last match. This was the look that this is a shot from her last match at Stardom when she returned to Stardom. Because if you can look, she's wearing gear that is actually emulating her old gimmick, but she's still timeless, Tony. I know the designer who did this gear because she's also the same woman who did most of Tony's gear since AEW. Most of the gear that Tony has worn in AEW has mostly been done by this same person. Um, I believe her name is Wicked Clothing, Wicked Designs. She's done Tony's gear from AEW. She has done Shotzi Blackheart's gear. She has done Scarlett Bordeaux's gear. She has done Soraya's gear. Yes, Soraya Page. She's done her gear. She's done all that gear from in case of it. Because in fact, I think I can pull her name up on Instagram if I can. Um, uh, we, I think it's Wicked Design. Let me pull it up. Um, I don't know. It's not this one. Hold on. I'm gonna have to go and look to see about it because I have to go on Instagram in the sense of it. Uh, Here it is, Wicked Lester. So this is Wicked Lester. Y'all should go follow her, by the way. She is known for doing a lot of custom gear for many wrestlers. As you can see here, she's done some for your mommy, Rhea Ripley. She's done some for Mariah May. She's done some for Natalia. Uh, she's done some for even rock artists, band members. Uh, Soraya, as I said before, she's done some gear for her. Um, Looks like she's done some for a couple of other wrestlers as well. Izzy Dane. Um, who else is there? Is that her and Nikki Strauss? No, yep, Nikki Strauss. I knew she did. I knew she would do some stuff for her. Who else is there? Natalia, Rhea, Fallon Henley, Nikki Strauss. She's done some for. Oh, Taya Valkyrie. Um, is this? Yeah, Jelly Roll's wife is even a fan of her stuff. Obviously. Oh, she did some for Ivy Nile. Um, where is she? Rhea. But yeah, this is her. This is her. This is the designer of all the gear. I love her fucking gear. It's so fucking metal. The studs, spikes, leather, it's everything is just infinitely gorgeous. I love her gear. That's why so glad for her success. She's done some great gear for many of the female wrestlers. Obviously, the people who are more tuned to her stuff is clearly people who are like Rhea Ripley, stuff of it. Um, but who else? Like there's, I'm trying to look for some of the gear she's done for Shotzi because Shotzi is one of my favorites she's done. Where is it? If I can pull it all the way down, Izzy Dane. Uh, she's even done a very familiar gear for Mariah May, and that's the reason why Tony's thing is the thing now because you have to remember when Tony and Mariah have not faced each other. The Tony Storm that we know that before Timeless has not fought Mariah May because when Mariah came to AEW under her wing, she was using Tony's old gimmick. Let's not forget, she came into the scene. Tony took her under her wing when she was Timeless Tony and gave her her old gimmick, which is why Mariah came out wearing the gear similar to Tony, her theme music, everything. She came out under Tony's wing until the Owen Hart Classic where she betrayed Tony. But Mariah has never faced this Tony Storm. She's fought Timeless Tony twice. She has not faced this Tony Storm. That's what makes this so great. Plus, Mariah is no longer using Tony's stolen gimmick anymore. She's now her own gimmick, the glamour. You know, the nail biting, flirtating, women's wrestling is dead, Mariah May. But she has not faced this Tony Storm. And that's what makes this so amazing. I love the reaction too. Like the fact that Tony's like, "Oh, you really missed me." Hell girl, this Toni we miss. I love this. By the way, Thunder Rosa, apropos, apropos. But yes, oh, I'm so excited for this one. But yeah, Mariah May has not faced old school stardom Toni Storm. And that's what makes this so great because you have to also remember Mina, Mariah, and Toni have made a name for themselves back in stardom years. They were all three bowling in stardom. And the fact that we get to see her face Toni again, but this time not timeless Toni, but stardom version Toni, the classic Toni Storm that we all knew back then, that's what makes this all awesome. That's what's going to make this interesting. That's why she's just like, wait, you're not the Toni I remember. And Toni, why are you here? And that's what she's going to, yeah. It's going to be so awesome to see this. This is the Toni I fell in love with. This is the Toni that I said, you know what? I like this girl. Like, Juice, you can never make me hate you, Juice Robinson. I can see why you put a ring on this woman's finger. This is the Toni that's like, she's wearing leather in between them thighs and just, Lord have mercy, have my soul. Like, this is the Toni I love. Like, I love that version of Toni. I'm so happy for this one. So, we're getting this Toni at All In Texas, perhaps. Oh, I'm all for it. All for it. I'm so all for this. So, again, this version of Toni, not this one, this one. Please remember that. This is the Toni that's a decorated champion in stardom. Not this one. No, no. No, no say. Like I said, this woman held that title more than once of it. I'm so happy for this one. This is the Toni that I love. The fact that she won the interim title too. This is the Toni that won the interim title. If we got to get a third time the charm with this Toni, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I mean, hell, her and Thunder Rosa respected each other at one point with this title at one point of it. I so love this. That's why I'm like, yeah, this Toni Storm is my favorite. I'm so happy for this one because now Mariah has a real competitor. Because if Mina's not going to do the job, then why not vintage Toni? And vintage Toni is a dangerous woman. This woman, don't let the track bond track makeup eye light liner fool you. Don't let that fool you. This woman is a fucking badass. This is the Toni Storm that I fell in love with. I am so excited now. I didn't expect Toni to come back, and I didn't expect this version of Toni to come back, but I am all for it. All for it. So now, with this situation, if she does reclaim her title from Mariah May, we need this Toni to stay with this Toni. Do not put her back with the Outcast. The Outcast is dead. The Outcast is dead. Soraya's barely making runs on in the ring. Harley Cameron's been mostly pulling up the work. Ruby Soho is out because of a baby with Angela Parker of all people. So she and Angela's got a baby. So the last thing we need is her being a villain again and being with the Outcast. We don't need it. But I would love for this Toni to keep her solo run as it is. So AEW Tony Khan, please let us keep this version of Toni Storm because I am all for it. I'm all for it.